way in the back of the bus. So, how is it? How's life good this morning?
Good.
Fresh, cold, yeehaw! Oh, Hamburg is cold, but beautiful weather, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let me introduce the team to you. Here in the cockpit, very experienced driver is Ralf, good German name. My name is Patty, Patricia. Patty. Very easy because you're in Hamburg. What's a hamburger? A patty. Pretty easy. And all the way at the back is Anastasia. She is from the ship, and she will be the escort and maybe help me try to find the numbers. If every seat's taken, pretty much we're good, I would say. And I always have to count in German because when I come to the number 26, everybody thinks I'm talking about sex in Swansea. I'm sorry. So, can you all hear me? Can you understand me? Can you understand my English?
Yeah, very good.
Very good, because if you want me to speak with a German accent, I can do that as well. Huh? And you already see a quite interesting building sticking out, the one with the glass front and the waved roof. That is our concert hall and newest landmark, our Elbphilharmonic building. It houses a hotel, a concert hall for 2,200 people, and another concert hall for 500, and also private apartments. As early we can manage that. Disregard what you see on the left-hand side. For now, we'll come back to this area. This is the warehouse city, World UNESCO Heritage. UNESCO World Heritage this way. And we'll come back to this because that's the last thing on our trip that we can nicely do, not being disturbed by any of the demonstrations. Now you have a great example of Hamburg inner city on a Sunday. Dead. Really dead. And what are you guys doing here? In Germany, we still have the shops closed on Sundays. And I think that's quite good. I think you can live without a day of open shops. Liquids went back with the fire brigade, and so therefore that was the end of Hamburg. Left-hand side, the oldest church we still have, St. Peter, one of our 5 main churches in town. Thing you know is when you don't pay attention, it's a black stripe over your forehead, and that's not from stepping on the brake. Yeah, so whenever you get off, please be extremely careful with the of the citizens, of the burghers, and that's what we want to show. We are in power. This is our palace. By the way, not a stone. Have you seen them anywhere? They're pretty much spread over Europe, but the most you'll find in Berlin and Hamburg. And especially after yesterday, there was the Holocaust Memorial Day. It's quite important. Normally they're nicely polished. I don't know what they look terrible right now. They always commemorate one citizen that we've lost with the Nazis. They were good in one thing. Only one thing they were good at is documentation. So we always know pretty much and pretty well what happened to people. And when we know, we put it on these stones, brown stones. In this case, there were probably a few Jewish, but most probably not so many, because this was here. These were mainly people who worked in the parliament, and they were communists or socialists. But it could be anybody, if they were gay or Sinti or Roma, Jewish, communist, whatever was in the way of the Nazis and being taken to concentration camps. If we know about their fate, and somebody is willing to put a stone in for about 5,500 euros, then they will be put down here. And I think it's a great way to never forget what happened, and especially in days like that, like especially what we demonstrate against today. Always a good moment to remember all the people we've lost.
Thank you. Wow.
But in Hamburg we say that there's only wind when the sheep have no more curls. And it's only raining when the herrings, the fish, are on eye level. Now we talk about that kind of weather. Yeah, that was a little stop at the City Hall. The other side is what we call the Young Maidens Avenue or Grand Boulevard, with a beautiful department store, the Ulster House. And in the old days, imagine the merchants walking their young daughters in their white little furry dresses to find a nice rich husband. Rich was the point. King Charles and Queen Camilla, or I call them Queen Chamilla to make it short, came to Hamburg a few months ago. They also came here to this train station. The biggest villa from the richest people is coming here up on our left-hand side. Oh, they're taking down the part of the, no, not yet quite of the scaffolding here. This was semi-American German family, the Buttkes. They went over to the States here, which is the scaffolding. They went over to the States to make their money with the Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, mainly because they built the train system in America. And they came back here and built this villa. They just called it the Big Bathtub because they had 17 bathrooms. There are some pictures that give you an idea of what we call the alley quarters. Alley quarters because the alleys, the streets were so narrow that you could reach hand over with your neighbors. Yeah? Do we have everybody now back here? Everybody made it in the show here?
this is huge in here. I did not think it was big. So we had to walk to the church. They have the streets closed for the demonstration coming up.
You see this big square. We have lots of markets here in the evenings, food market. Also a Christmas market in winter, and that's our erotic Christmas market. Ooh, please hold the ears of our youngster in the back. I don't want to tell you about the shapes of the mugs. And they even have a little Santa Claus striptease going on. And this round square in front of us will be stopping shortly. Yeah. If we don't kill this person. Then, you see, we're standing right here. So you see, we are standing on a vinyl record right now. It's a record. And you see these guys on the left-hand side. These are the Beatles. This is the Beatles Square. And we don't have 4 Beatles, but we have 5 Beatles standing here. Do you know who they were?
Pete Best.
Pete Best, yeah. But he was replaced in Hamburg by Ringo Starr. And the 5th Beatle was? No. Stuart Sutcliffe. Ah. Our most handsome, young, gorgeous guy. I mean, he was like, oh my God, to die for. What a sweet cookie. He was really much better of a painter than he was as a guitarist. And so we have the 5 here. So he's standing a little bit aside. He's kind of a mix here as Stuart Sutcliffe. And very rare, because we can only do that Sunday mornings, we go into the what we call the Big Liberty. The Beatles Square, the Big Liberty. This is the hot spot of nightlife. And you're not allowed to drive here basically after lunch anyway. And here are the hottest clubs in town. And also here are 3 of the 4 clubs the Beatles started their career in. In front of you, another big part of our tourism, I must say, is medical tourism. We have a lot of people who come here for good operations. And I can say for myself, I had a back operation here in the endo clinic. Perfect, spotless, fantastic, fast, efficient, and amazing. So I can speak from my own experience.
I don't know what it's called, but it's a croissant. Chocolate croissant with a lot of confectioner's sugar. So we're here in the, I guess like the port area in Hamburg.
On the right hand side, this wall is really a protection wall. We can have pretty bad floodings here. We did have it in, what was it, of November? Yeah, November, December. We had a few days where all this, the fish market was totally underwater. And you can see even like there is a little barrier here that when the area has high water, you can't enter with a bus or a car at all. So, coming back to the Elbe River, and you can see again it splits up here in a couple of wonderful islands. So,
yeah, look at the
islands
wall
that we have here in front of us. These are the islands with the warehouse city. We'll come back to the warehouse city shortly.
Busy now. I wonder if he's approaching.
But first of all, I would like to come closer to our iconic building, the Elbphilharmonic building that I described before, concert hall. Okay.
She said shit.
Okay, they're cutting us off. I see they made a cul-de-sac here. The harbor city. Left hand side is the warehouse city. The warehouse city you can't live. It's forbidden because of the flooding. But look, what they built here on the right hand side, the whole harbor city is put on a 4 meter 16 feet pedestal. So when it's actually flooding here, you can reach your home on the second level via some bridges that are connected to the inner city.
Cool.
The lower area is only for car parking and a second entrance. So we always recommend when there is flooding here and you have a car that you need to park in this area, it's best to have a BMW because they seem to swim the longest. All right, now I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that the city had a tax-free status for a long time, 12th century to mid of 19th century. What happened to it? You've already seen his statue. Otto von Bismarck had the idea to build an enormous empire, a German empire. Before, it was all scattered countries, 240 countries on the German-speaking territory, and he wanted to unite it. And a part of uniting a country or different countries into one big country means you have to work out the tax system. And he said, you can't have your own tax system, folks. We need to work on this. And so what he did, he negotiated with the Hamburgers for years and years and years. They came to a compromise. We give you something like 20 million Goldmark at the time, and you stop having the whole city tax-free, only a small part in town, and it makes sense to have it close to the port, correct? Right. So they chose these islands here that we're on as a tax-free area. The only little problem was about 20,000 people lived here. In shantytown, you could say. Very, very poor areas. And they were kicked out from one day to the other. And that's why we saw the workers' quarters back on the other side by the ship. That's where they moved to partly. And they built this complex, which is, now, that's why it's UNESCO World Heritage, the largest brick construction warehouse complex in the world of the 19th century. So it reaches for about 1.5 kilometers, about a short mile. It's very narrow and always cut through with canals. Left hand side you see the customs canal, so that is the division, so to say, the division line to the inner city. So up until 2003, this area was still the tax-free port. And I remember that. I came here with cruise ships on the other side. So I had to cross over one of these bridges, and there were the customs officers checking me if I had smuggled anything. Of course I did. Of course I smuggled something. Of course. Because you must know, I work on cruise ships for 36 years now. So, and ever since 2003, they opened it up because then they were building the harbor city behind it, so there was no way to keep that here. And since 2013, there's no more free port in Hamburg. So this worked really well from the mid-19th century, again, up until the first container ships came into town. It was an amazing enterprise what they did with these warehouses. The quartermen or tallymen were in charge of these warehouses, not the merchant anymore. I'll come back to that. But when they basically lost their purpose and we had to build new port, new warehouses fit for containers, the question is, what do we do with these things? The first idea for a Hamburg is always, oh, let's demolish it. But they were under monument protection. But since this is a flooding area, it's not allowed to have proper lofts here or some cool apartments. So what you mainly see is offices. There is the miniature Wonderland, maybe you've heard about that, the biggest train system, miniature train system in the world is just behind us in the building. And the only ones that really stayed here with their enterprise that they used to have before are Oriental carpet dealers. So the truck standing next to us has probably 1,000 Oriental carpets in it. And you can kannst ein Stück nach vorne fahren. I'll just go a little bit front. Then you can see it, of course, now it's Sunday. But you can still see the heaving hooks here on the right-hand side. It worked totally mechanically, hydraulically. So it still works the same way as it used to do. They have little beams on the side, they push them, the hook goes up, they push it, beam goes down. So it's still working exactly the same way as before. And these guys here, they work very hard. You can see, for example, the basket here that they put the carpets in. So 17% of the area is still in the hand of the carpet dealers. However, if you have does anybody have an Oriental carpet in their home? No? No one? Ooh, bad news for these dealers. Because if you have one, the chance it came through Hamburg is 75%.
Wow.
It's one of the biggest hubs in the world for Oriental carpets. And I usually talk to them here, usually to Mr. Harschwas, how is business? And he says, the Germans, they don't have any more carpets in their home. Sorry to say, but it's only Scandinavians. No, the Norwegian, the Swedish, they like it, but not so much. But it's almost like a dying trade, but we'd like to keep it a little bit. So let's go on a little bit on an old warehouse. Now the brick part is the warehouse part. That's a warehouse from the 1960s. And then this was put on top of the old warehouse. Yeah, they weren't really sure if the roof would hold. Sometime again in Hamburg or wherever you meet us, any of us, Ralph, Anastasia or myself, if you recognize us, please never hesitate just the slightest second to tap on our shoulders and ask, would you like a drink?
Alright, it's lunchtime. Let's see what we got. There we go.
Now this is a lot of food. This is chicken and mushroom pie. They had all kinds of stuff in there. Pasta. Barely anything healthy on my plate.
Can you fit? Oh, you can fit.
I can fit, but I don't know about getting out. Just getting out is All right, tonight I am going to go get some gelato, and then we are going to go see a show. It's Songbook of Ed Sheeran, or pretty sure it's a cover. I doubt Ed Sheeran is actually here, although there is somebody on the excursion team that kind of looks like Ed Sheeran, actually, when I think about it. So maybe he is here. I don't know. Let's go find out. We're still in Hamburg. We didn't go to the steakhouse tonight because we were so full from our lunch at the buffet. Tomorrow night we're going to sushi. And then the night after that, we are going to Le Grill, the steakhouse. We did get a meal plan. So we got 2 specialty dinings for €75 each. After tip gratuity, it was like €82 each for 2 different restaurants. So we're going to see how that stacks up and if it's worth it. So stay tuned and we will see you in the theater. That was bad lighting. Here we go. That was better. We will see you in the theater.
A wonderful good evening and a warm welcome here in our Delphi Theatre. Most of all, a big hello to all our guests just on board today in the beautiful port of Hamburg. But for all of you staying on board since Southampton already, maybe you're wondering, because you have had the whole cruise to wonderful gentlemen presenting here on stage, and maybe you're wondering where they've gone, but they're gone on vacation, and that means you have now me. And this is definitely my time to quickly introduce myself. My name is Anna, I'm the cruise director, and I'm so excited to have you here on board as our guest, ready to have a wonderful cruise all together. Joy!
In the evening, glass on the
Streets, they scream, the worst things in life come free to us, 'cause we're all under the upper hand. Go mad for a couple grams. She don't wanna go outside. Ripped cups, rain cold. Try to swim, still close. Dry house, let go. Things in life come free to us, 'cause we're all under the upper hand. Go mad for a couple grams. She don't wanna go outside tonight.
we just finished the Ed Sheeran show, which I think was really good. And now where are we, sir?
We're at Jean Philippe Chocolatier at sea. We're about to get a lava cake, and a chocolate mousse, which I'm excited for that when I saw the ingredients. Chocolate mousse is something you can eat as you lose all your teeth, and it's much easier to savor the flavor.
You're wild. Anyways, it's a good little spot. Oh wow, that looks so good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You as well.
I like the little gold. Chocolate mousse at Jean Paul. And of course the melting lava cake. Chocolate mousse. Oh, I just buried the treasure. Chocolate syrup, crushed Oreos. That is really decadent. It's not super sweet. It is sweet, but it's like, it's really good. Chocolate melting cake, and with gold on it, and it's pretty good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you can, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to see more. Bye!